Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to stick to Sweden and we're going to review another one of the beers that was released as part of the local and small assortments on the 1st of April 2019 through Systembolaget here in Sweden. So for this one we are going to go to Köping, which is out to the west of Stockholm, and we're having a taste of my second beer from Strömsholms Brygghus. This one is the Black Lager of Death. It comes in at 4.8% and as the name suggests it is a Schwarzbier style beer, and it of course has the Herman Hedning style of artwork on it. Herman Hedning, for those of you watching outside of Sweden, is a kind of humorous comic strip that floats around here. There you can see Herman Hedning just up there with these little club and things like that. But yeah, should be a really interesting beer, this one. I enjoyed the last beer that I had from Strömsholms Brygghus, so I'm very curious to see how this one turns out, particularly when it's a style that you don't see too many breweries having a go at these days. But oddly enough, in this local release that I got from Systembolaget, I was able to get another one. I was able to get another one from the Strömsholms Brewery and from Karlskrona in Blekinge, so you will see that review appear over the next little while as well. So yeah, very much looking forward to trying this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this beer. So anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Strömsholms Brygghus before. Hopefully I can add some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Strömsholms Brygghus then, on to my brewery notes. So Strömsholms Brygghus was founded back in 2008 by 4 beer enthusiasts. This is brewer Mika Granat, Daniel Sedorovsky and Lotte and Peter Granberry. So Mika is the brewer and he's been brewing beer since the 1980s, while Lotte and Per own the nearby Öger Bar. But the brewery were originally based in Strömholm, hence the name. However, they're now based in Köping as of 2010 to the west of Stockholm in an old freight shed, which is actually quite close to the town's railway station. There's quite a few breweries in Sweden actually are based in old train stations and stuff like this. But today they produce around 15 kinds of beer, and they're producing over 100,000 litres of beer per year as well. So yeah, it's a very, very small brewery, this one, and one that has kind of been growing over the last couple of years. But as I've told you before, there's about 400 or so little craft breweries here in Sweden now, and it's always worth trying the beers from the smaller breweries because you can really unearth some gems in these little local releases that you get. So yeah, if you get the chance to try some of the Strömsholms Brygghus beers, have a go at them and just see what you think. And as I say, this is a style that you don't find too many breweries actually having a go at anymore. So yeah, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer then. If you want to learn a little bit more about Strömsholms Brygghus, you can of course check out the brewery website in the description below, and you can follow them on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that, and that'll keep you up to date with all the latest goings on at the brewery. So yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer then. So as you can see, nicely presented beer, this one. As I mentioned earlier, the Herman Hedning, will get rid of the brewery notes now so it doesn't shine on the bottle. But yeah, as you can see, the nice Herman Hedning style of artwork there, the Grim Reaper. I don't know if this is meant to be a tribute to like death metal or something like that, the Black Lager of Death. But yeah, really nice artwork on this one. There you can see the Strömsholms Brygghus symbol there, but it says on the side here, a black lager brewed at midnight during the darkest months of the year, brewed with love, sweat and the best possible ingredients, Strömsholms Brygghus in Köping, Sweden. So yeah, nicely presented. It has the same in Swedish on the other side of course, and you've got a little plain black bottle cap on this one. So yeah, without further ado then, let's get this guy out and just see how we get on. So yeah, I have to admit, Schwarzbier is a beer that I really quite enjoy. It started off with the Kostritzer that I had when I was living in Heidelberg in Germany when I studied there. I really I really liked that style, but as I say, it's not one that you come across all that often actually. Although in the Czech Republic you have the Tmavies, which are very, very similar. I think the Tmavy basically is the equivalent of the German Schwarzbier. So you've got the the late the Svetlis, the late sacks, which are the kind of lagers of different strengths. You've got the Cherny, which is the more dunkel type beer, and you've got the Tmavy. And the Tmavies are fairly popular in the Czech Republic actually. So when we talk about Schwarzbiers and black lagers, you do have to talk about the German Schwarzbier and also the Czech Tmavy as well. And I've always found the Czech Tmavies are a little bit more bready than the German ones. The German ones, I think, are a little bit more roasty and lighter. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we taste this beer. But as you can see, and as you would expect from a Schwarzbier, it's poured a very, very nice dark sort of ebony rosewood colour. If you hold it up to the light, it's got a big kind of ruby edge to it. There's a half finger of a frothy, I would say, sort of fawn, slightly tan, probably not tan actually, more of a fawn coloured head to it, this one. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of the glass there. But overall it does look pretty nice, and not out of the ordinary, I guess you would say, for either a Czech Tmavy or a German Schwarzbier, to be honest with you. But yeah, nice looking beer, this one. So let's take a closer look at the aroma and just see how we get on with this. Ooh, it actually smells pretty sweet. I've got a feeling this one might be a little bit more like a Czech Tmavy, just going by the aroma. So with this beer, you've got a lovely kind of big bready base to it, if you like. It's got a good grainy character to it as well. It's almost even a little touch like herbal or vegetal or something like that. There is an element of that to this beer. You can pick out there's a little touch of brown sugar in there, quite a well toasted brown sugar at that, right enough. A little bit of a biscuity sweetness as well. It does remind me of the kind of McVitie's digestives actually. But yeah, it's got a nice roasty black malt quality to it, but there's a lot of sweetness just kind of blending round that, of course. So you do get these nice roasty, toasty elements to the beer, but you also get these lovely kind of big bready notes in there, and it's the bigger, more prominent bready notes that are making me think this might lean a little bit more towards the Czech Tmavy rather than the German Schwarzbier. Of course, I always remember the German Schwarzbier being a little bit more kind of straight up in their sort of roasty character, if you like. But yeah, the malt base to this one is really nice, a lot sweeter than I was expecting actually. So yeah, quite cool actually, quite cool I have to say. So in terms of the hoppy side of the beer then, you can pick up a little bit of kind of earthiness in there, a little bit of grassiness, but there is a good little bit of a fruity quality to this beer. I wonder if they have chucked a little bit of Cascade or something in here, or maybe a little bit of Williamette, because this beer really does have that almost blackberry quality to it that you would expect of the Williamette. The Williamette's quite a popular beer to use, quite popular hop, my apologies, to use in imperial stouts and porters and things like that, and it gives you this lovely kind of, it does give you a good chunk of earthiness and a good little bit of kind of floral aromatic character to you, but it also gives you a lot of kind of dark berries like blackberries, blackcurrants and things like that. And I do get the feeling that maybe they've used a little bit of that in here. So I'm thinking this one might be a Czech malt base, but then it's got a little bit more of a kind of New World hop or something in it. It could be another hop completely, right enough. The thing that's confusing is when you have a big dark malt base like this and you use hops. I mean, I've seen imperial stouts that use Simcoe and things like that in them. The Simcoe appears completely differently as it would in a regular IPA, so they might be using something completely different, but I would suspect there is a little touch of Williamette or something here, or maybe a little bit of Cascade, because you've got some lovely red fruity sharpness to this one, I have to say. Yeah. So just have a smell of the aroma of this beer before you get stuck in. It's got a little bit of that grassy and floral noble hop to it. You've got a little bit of that earthiness there that you'd expect. So probably they're using a little bit of Sats or a little bit of Hallertau or Tettnanger or something in there. Those hops are all kind of fairly similar in terms of their aroma profiles actually, with the floral and grassy side of things, and as well as a little bit of a sweeter kind of earthiness. So yeah, just have a little look at the aroma of this one before you get stuck in, but we're going to have a taste of this one now. So this one is the Hermann Hedning's Black Lager of Death from Strömsholms Brygghus in Köping up near Stockholm here in Sweden. Another recent local release through Systembolaget here in Sweden. Let's get stuck in. Slangen, skål! Ooh, I have to say it's pretty nice actually, but it's very, very light. Very, very light, easy drinking beer, this one. And what I'll say about this beer is that in terms of the Schwarzbier Tmavy thing that I was talking about earlier, that is 100% a Czech Tmavy. It's not roasty enough to be a German Schwarzbier in my mind, although in fairness to it, it gets a little bit more roasty in the aftertaste. But I would definitely say, if I had to categorise this beer between those two sort of sub-styles, which are very closely related, to me that's a Czech Tmavy. Just because of how smooth the malt base in this one is, because the German malt base, from what I remember, does have a bit of the smoothness there, but it does lean a lot more towards the roasty, toasty side of things. Yeah, I really like how this, how the flavour in this one goes together. Actually, they've done a really nice job of this. So let's try and break this down a little bit then. So in the middle of your palate, you've got a nice, smooth, bready malt base there. It's almost like a kind of brown bready quality. It just blankets the middle of your tongue. It's almost kind of sweet, actually. It reminds me of this German, I don't know if you can call it pumpernickel bread or whatever, but it really has that. The middle of your palate really starts to sweeten up in this as well. You've got a nice kind of sweet caramelly note in there, but at the same time you can tell that that brown sugar is a little bit sort of toasty. You've also got a nice kind of biscuity sweetness to this beer as well, but the further you go into the aftertaste, you can really pick up some of the roasty black malts just coming out in there. I think the roasty black malt is kind of almost pushed back a little bit by the sweetness of some of the other malt qualities in this one, and I think that really works for it. That's the smoothness and the sweetness that you get out of the malt base in this one, just that almost slightly bigger breadiness, actually gives you more of a, it really does give you more of a, how do you say, more of a Tmavy quality than a Schwarzbier quality. But yeah, I have to say, to me, in terms of this beer, it's a style, as I say, that not too many breweries do. But it's a style that I have to admit I do like, and it gets a big thumbs up from me. If you compare this, to me, this is quite an authentic Czech Tmavy. It might be a little bit sweeter than some of the ones you find in the Czech Republic, right enough, but I think it really works, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this beer again. You've got a little element of a woody note to this beer, I'm finding, the further you go into the aftertaste as well, just towards the front of your palate, so just bear that in mind. On the hoppy side of things then, back corners of the palate, you've got a nice little touch of earthiness. As you come further forward along the sides of your tongue, the earthiness does follow forward a little bit, but it just smooths out. You get a little touch of floral aromaticity at the front corners of the palate, then round the very front curve of the tongue. It's a little bit lighter and more grassy as well, which I think is really quite nice. Behind the front curve of the palate, of course, that's where you get that nice oily bubble where the juicy, fruity esters start to come out of the beer. And again, this makes me think that there is a little bit of Williamette hop in here. So I would say, with this beer, I think, you know, the fruity side of things, it's got a little touch of a kind of candied red fruity, like the strawberry flavour that you get from the little heart-shaped sweets in Haribo Star Mix. It does have that, but it's definitely got a sort of a blackcurrant, blackberry sort of thing, maybe even a little touch of blueberry or something like that as well. There is a nice berry, just a lovely kind of berryish quality to this beer, so just pay attention to that when you're actually having a taste of this one. This one has everything that you want from the style. It's a little touch more fruity than the ones you're going to find in the Czech Republic, but it has the malt base for me spot on. As I say, just a little touch more fruity than you might expect from this. This one, to me, it's almost a little bit like a kind of Cascadian dark in some ways. The fruitiness is kind of similar to a Cascadian dark or a black IPA, but the malt base side of things is definitely a Czech Tmavy. So yeah, in terms of the mouthfeel of this one then, I would say this is quite a light-bodied beer. Carbonation is pretty smooth in this one. It leans towards the oily side of things with its mouthfeel a little bit, but it does have a little bit of that wetness in there. It's not quite crisp, but then again, I've always found the Czech beers are a little bit more smooth rather than crisp. Nice little bit of hoppy bitterness to this one. I'd say you're looking around kind of 30 IBUs. The malt base has a really good balance between that roastiness that comes out in the aftertaste and the sweetness and the smoothness that you get in the beginning, and of course you've got a lovely little bit of a juicy fruity character in this one as well. But overall, a lovely beer, really close to an original Czech Tmavy fillet, but with just a little touch of that red fruity note that you'd expect from a Cascadian Dark or a black IPA. But yeah, big thumbs up to Strömsholms Brygghus for this one, and it does make me curious to try some of the other beers. Quite an unusual one for breweries to have a go at these days. But yeah, a lovely beer this one, and I'm glad I was able to review it, so I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on it as well. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Strömsholms Brygghus as well, and I'm sure I'll return to these guys in the fairly near future. Do give me some other Swedish Schwarzbier or Czech Tmavy type beer recommendations in the comment section below as well. But this one was the Black Lager of Death, the Herman Hedning Black Lager of Death from Strömsholms Brygghus in Köping, just out to the west of Stockholm. A lovely beer, this one, and I was glad I was able to review this. Coming